All right, she's back. It's Supergirl. Are you ready to hear about my latest discovery and rant? If so, carry on.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Okay, so I am a huge YouTuber. Of course, being a YouTuber myself, I am on YouTube quite often. And I really do love a lot of the things that I'm seeing on YouTube. And for a really long time, I thought YouTube was really quite ridiculous. But I'm beginning to love a lot of the things that I'm learning through YouTube, a lot of the educational channels, some of the other things that I found, as I talked about with Lucy the Reader. I have some other subscriptions that I love, like All Theme Docs. This chick rocks with her docs. Seriously, I love all of her documentaries. They are fantastic. I actually subscribed recently to a new channel that's called Big Think. I am in no way promoting this channel whatsoever for one reason in particular. I fell in love with this channel several weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, when I started learning about the classics. And I wasn't really intrigued by the classics a whole lot. Lucy the Reader, as I mentioned, kind of drew me in. This channel on YouTube called Big Think did a floating university series on what makes a classic. And I loved this series. It was so good. I was just enthralled by the professor and by the information he was presenting and the way it was presented. It was gorgeous. It was really well done. So anyways, I'm going to be looking back and forth at my laptop as I do this rant, so to speak, because I am just floored at the gall of people today in the world. The reason why I say this is because I just find it really utterly disturbing how the world today feels that they can hide behind their computer screen or their, phone and make the most rude comments that you would ever hear. Well, you would never hear it face to face. They would never say the things that they can say on the screen or on their little keyboard. They would never say it to your face. They only can do it hiding behind the screen and being a complete jerk. So let me tell you about the video that popped up. It's called "We Don't Need God or Religion to Know Right from Wrong." Well, I was a little concerned about this as a Christian. I don't really think that we need God or religion to know right from wrong. However, when I began to read the comments, I realized that this was no longer a site intended for someone like me who is a Christian, who does like being educated, who does like to talk and debate things in a civil, wonderful, amazing way where we can get to know each other even if we have differing opinions. However, as I began to scroll through the comments, I was horrified at some of the things that people were saying. Let me read just a few of them for you. If you need the promise of heaven or the fear of hell in order to be a good person, you are already by definition morally inferior to normal people. I don't know what defines normal people, but to say that I'm morally inferior, that right there shows that this person who said this is morally a jerk, that they would insult someone else. The contradictions that I find through this whole idea of being able to comment and say whatever you feel are typically coming from the left, the liberals, those who claim that we should love everybody and tolerate everybody except accept. They want everyone to tolerate them, but the problem is they don't want to tolerate us, someone who doesn't think like they do. Here's another one. My argument against religion and the BS they spew has been, what did man do 5,000 years ago? Was murder acceptable? Was lying acceptable? Was stealing acceptable? No. You can't have a society without these rules. Just imagine if everyone went around and murdered whomever they didn't like. Yeah, UFO hunter. That's his name. I rest my case.
Now might be a good time to explain to those who hunt UFOs that 5,000 years ago many cultures believed in God or gods. The Israelites believed in the laws given to Moses in ancient times. Hammurabi of the ancient Mesopotamia put a pedestal of laws based on his god in the center of their community. Hammurabi even said, Anu and Bel called by name me, Hammurabi, the exalted prince who feared God, to bring about the rule of righteousness in the land, to destroy the wicked and the evildoers, so that the strong should not harm the weak, so that I should rule over the black-headed people like Shamash and enlighten the land to further the well-being of mankind. It is only within the past 100 years that civilization began to question the authority of God, and mainly due to a faulty, unproven theory that has been debunked by countless godless scientists. And even the godless scientists have to admit that there had to be a creator. What that is, they aren't sure. The problem is they don't want to admit defeat, so they refuse to call that creator Jesus. But it's important to know history if you want to somehow use it in your argument. Facts really are important despite one's feelings about them.
I became an atheist when I read the Bible cover to cover. Good for you. The Christian religion justified slavery. No. And they used God to say that blacks were defined as a slave race. No, the Bible doesn't say that. And same when Hitler said about Jews. Well, yeah, if you want to take Hitler's view of the Bible, you are more than welcome to do that. He says this, and it's true. Preach the truth. We don't need God. We need truth. Okay, right there. I mean, I don't even understand his language. It's really quite ridiculous. Only science can offer us deliverance. Religion is a result of man's fear of the unknown. A day will come when we will set aside our differences and work together as a species. Maybe not in my lifetime or yours, but it has to. So basically what he's saying, or this person is saying, is that maybe if we all just stop believing in God, we could all get along. So basically, in order for someone to get along with me, I have to stop believing in God for you to like me and for you to accept me as a human being and normal. Oh, here's a good one from Rick. Believing in imaginary sky people clearly makes you a better person or gives you the illusion. Stupid people seem to need a magical, omniscient person watching us to make the right decision. Unfortunately, not all humans are rational beings to be a good person because that's what's right. Whew, take a breather, Rick. Not because magical mom, dad is watching you all the times. And then we go down to, if Donald Trump being president is not wrong, nothing is wrong. Okay, I don't even know what this has to do with any of it. This was not the kind of company I wanted to be in, so I wrote unsubscribe. The comments reveal the hate of the oh-so-loving culture of tolerance. Yeah, okay. So then it starts with the comments coming at me. These are great. Tristine Fleming. So we're supposed to tolerate people who want to force their beliefs through legislation, discriminate against gays, and prosecute those who don't believe. I don't know what religion you're thinking of, that would be Islam, by the way, probably the religion that you're very tolerant of. We, on the other hand, as Christians, do not discriminate against gays at all. We love them. We just don't feel like we have to participate in that lifestyle. That's okay. I have many friends who are gay that I love very much, very, very much, and prosecute those who don't believe. Ouija Slayer. Yeah, that makes sense. Ouija Slayer, can you please explain to me how we are persecuting anyone who doesn't believe in the Christian faith here in the United States? Would you please tell me this? Because quite frankly, what you just described is Islam. I will say no more. Now here's a really pretty one from Ico, whatever. Don't let the door hit your bulbous hinder on the way out. This is good. And sad to see you go, especially when your name reminds me of a joke about an Olympic gold medal winner from 3 decades ago. What's green and ice skates? Peggy Flem. Here's a really nice one too. Theses are psychotic retards, dunce. That was from Critic Al. And so I wrote to Critic Al, Critic, you proved my point perfectly. You may not have noticed, but this channel is called Big Think, not Small Brains. However, all your comments just prove how utterly wrong this video is. The hate and ignorance in your comments prove that you need Jesus desperately. But then again, you don't need God to be good. You like being rude and hateful. Good for you. Now, in case you may have not noticed, this is a free country and I can believe what I want and you can keep going through life being a jerk to everyone who thinks differently than you do. Congrats on your theism. See, the problem is that it's okay to sit there and say that anyone who is of a religion or believes in God is hateful and a jerk and intolerant and a bigot and discriminative and prejudiced, yet you listen to all those comments and they are all those things. I am the one who's coming from the place of love and peace, saying, why do you have to do this? Why are you treating someone like me, telling me that I am morally corrupt compared to normal people? Why are you accusing me that I want to prosecute people that aren't Christians? I don't want to do that. I'm not trying to shove my beliefs through legislation. I just believe that murder is wrong, one way or the other. I just don't believe that a child in a mother's womb should have its spine pricked and tore apart and have its body completely shredded when evidence has shown that a child in the womb actually tries to fight against the abortion tool and is in very much pain. So if that doesn't tell you that that's murder, then you're morally corrupt, not me, because I'm thinking about the innocent children who are being murdered when you're talking about gun control when children are being murdered at school. Somehow you care about that, but you don't care about the children, you care about the guns. You're more concerned about the guns than you are about the children. All you want to talk about at this point now is guns, 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 guns. The gun did not kill the children. The person holding the gun killed the children. The gun didn't come in by itself. I'm just gonna go and start shooting people on my own because I have a brain of my own. I know everything. I am a robotic gun that can do whatever I feel like doing. No, it comes with someone like you on YouTube who talks the way that you do. You guys who commented on this page are typically the ones who are going to go out and blow someone's brains out, or you're the ones who are standing outside, stopping traffic, and not allowing people to get to their jobs, not allowing ambulances to get to the hospital. You are making a ruckus, you're beating people up, you're knifing people, you're calling everybody horrible, rotten names, but yet I'm the one who's morally corrupt. Okay, we have a right to believe what we want to believe. We still live in America where I can believe what I want to believe. The problem is that we live in a society today that wants to tell me, people like me, that I cannot think that way. And they make these false accusations about what a Christian is based on Islam, and yet then protect Islam religion. And yet, that's perfectly fine. It's okay if a Muslim doesn't want to make a cake for a gay couple, but God forbid if a Christian couple doesn't want to make a cake for a gay couple. And the funny thing about all of these stories of these Christian people who are being sued, typically those people who are suing them knew them for a very long time and knew nothing but kindness and love from these Christian business owners. But they decided that they were going to see if they would compromise their beliefs, and when they didn't, they decided to sue. Do you know how many Christians have lost their livelihood because of gay marriage? It's not the other way around, people. Gays aren't losing anything. It's the other way around. Christians' rights are being taken away by the gay community, by someone who just disagrees with me, like these people that are commenting on Big Think. And I would recommend that Big think about the bigger picture. Because quite frankly, when you start putting a video up that says we don't need God or religion to know right from wrong, and then you have a bunch of idiots who don't believe in God doing all of the wrong things, you really have to ask yourself, who is my audience? Is it people that really do want to think big, or is it people who have small brains and don't want to tolerate anybody else's belief systems or thoughts or ideas? But we all have to think like one another in order to have a big think or to think big. But the problem is, Big Think, is that your audience thinks small. They are small thinkers because they don't allow anyone else to have an idea or a belief system outside of them. Me, on the other hand, I don't care what anybody else does. As I said, my life is what matters. My family is what matters. Do I care what other people do? Of course I do, because I'm watching you people on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter just spewing so much hate, and then in the next breath saying, love trumps hate. Oh, really? When will you trump hate? When will you stop the hate so that love can trump hate? Think big. Think bigger.